Who's going to care for your kids if something happens to you? It's commonly one of the most important questions that people face when they're doing legacy or trust planning or estate planning. So we're going to tackle it today. I'm Eleanor Curry, your favorite real estate and business law attorney, and we are continuing on our legacy and trust planning series by diving into really what does it take to create a legacy or via a trust vehicle or any vehicle you choose that you can be proud of. And one of the most common questions and motivators that people have for getting a legacy planning together is their kids and what happens to them. So we're going to start talking about the topics that I commonly address with parents as they tackle these questions. And one of the biggest concerns, and really one of the things that is the biggest challenges in trust planning, comes down to who will care for your kids if they're a minor. Who's going to be responsible? And so when you tackle this question, often you're thinking of, okay, who do I know who's responsible, who could care for my kids, who will be a provider like I will? And when it comes to that first part of that question, who could be financially prepared to care for your kids, I want to encourage you to think of maybe what might be a novel idea. And that idea is, the answer is you. That you should continue to plan for and prepare for the care of your kids. Now, for many people, you're saying, with these two nickels that I'm rubbing together, I'm supposed to plan for a kid when I'm not even around or when I'm not even available or have the same job or income? And the answer often is yes. And it's found in different vehicles that you can use to make sure that there are funds available for your child's use after you're alive. Now, that may be your assets that you have today, your home, any retirement plans, bank accounts. And so that may be a part of your plan, but often, especially if your children are still very young, your plan has to include some insurance planning, right? You want to make sure you have a policy in place that could put your plan to action, right? You want to make sure that if you want someone to be available to care for your kids for 15 years or 18 years, if your kids are very young, or another 10 years, that you've empowered that person to care for your kids as you would want to. So that may mean you revisit a policy and make your trust or whoever you think is going to be the appropriate guardian the beneficiary of that policy, and put some restrictions, especially with the trust in place, on how those funds are used, because you don't want to take the interest and take the steps to make sure your kids have finances assured and then have someone squander or misuse those funds so they're not applied as per your instructions. So when it comes to providing financially for your kids and you're answering that question in your trust or your will or any legacy planning you're put together, just remember that financial responsibility still will probably fall to you. And there are different ways. Maybe a term policy, it may not protect you and cover everything that you would want to have covered, but that term policy for the next 10 or 15 years or until your kids are adults may cover their care. And it may be actually quite affordable given the terms of that term policy. So make sure that you put yourself still in the driver's seat of caring for your kids, at least that financial concern. And we'll hop into next week how you can think about different aspects of their physical care that you want to be mindful of as you do your legacy planning. Thanks so much.